Hello everyone, myself Ashim Das, and today we are going to see the topic the French society during the late 18th century from the lesson the French Revolution, class 9 history. So, in the year 1774, as we know, King Louis XVI of the Bourbon family of kings ascended the throne of France. When he became the king, he was just 20 years old and he was married to the Austrian princess Marie Antoinette. Now, when he was the king, he was a very inexperienced person. So, upon his accession, the new king found an empty treasury. So, when he became the king, he saw that there was no money in the treasury. Why? Because long years of war had drained the financial resources of France. Moreover, there was a big problem of managing or maintaining an extravagant court at the immense palace of Versailles. So this cost of maintaining such a big palace also added to the expenses. Under Louis XVI, France held the 13 American colonies to gain their independence from their common enemy Britain. Like Britain had made their colonies in America, but these colonial people, they decided to fight against their own mother country, and the people took the help, the American colonies took help from France. And when they took help from France, at the time they decided to help them because they also hated the kingdom of Britain. This war added more than 1 billion livres to a debt that had already risen to like 2 billion livres. So already there was a huge loan on France, and now again they had to pay more money. Now the lenders who gave this state credit, they now began to charge more money, 10% interest on the loans, and that is why the French government was obliged to spend an increasing percentage of its budget on the interest payment. So most of the money that they earned from the budget or from the different sources, they had to pay for interest only alone. To meet its regular expenses such as cost of maintaining the army, there was a big army, they had to pay salary, they had to maintain everything, the big court at Versailles, and running the government offices, universities, etc. The state was forced to increase the taxes because they had to get money from the people. Yet even this measure would not have sufficed. Like French society in the 18th century was divided into three states, and it is known that only the members of the third estate paid the taxes. Now the society of the estates were a part of the old feudal system that dated back to the Middle Ages. The term old regime is usually referred to describe the society and institution of France before the year 1789. Now let us see the divisions of the first estate and second estate and the third estate. The first estate comprised of the clergy or the people of the church associated with the church, and the second estate belonged to the nobility or the nobleman in the court and all, and the third estate big businessmen, merchants, court lawyers, etc. Peasants and artisans were also there, and in the last category small peasants, landless, laborers and servants, etc. Now let us see how these estates used to pay the money. Now peasants made up of 90% of the total population of the society. However, only a small number of them only owned land, their own land that they cultivated. About 60% of all this land was owned only by the nobles and the church and the richer members of the third estate. So 60% of the land was not under the farmers. Now the members of the first two estates, that is the clergy and the nobility, enjoyed certain privileges by birth, and the most important of this was that they did not have to pay any taxes, exemption from paying taxes to the feudal dues, so to the state. So the nobles further enjoyed feudal privileges. They could collect feudal dues. The feudal dues were like some taxes that they could extract from the get from the peasants or the farmers. Moreover, the peasants were obliged or forced to work or render services to the lord, their own lord, in his field or his house, and to serve in the army or even to participate in building roads and all. So this is what we come to know. Thank you.